Guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to show you how to design a simple business flyer like this, like what you see on the screen. Without further ado, let's get started. If you are joining us for the first time, I would like you to subscribe to this channel so that whenever we drop a new video you get access to also join us study a new skills. And if you are old here, thank you for connecting with me. So now let's move straight to Adobe Photoshop. I'm basically using Photoshop 2019. If you are using any of the CS versions, then you can also join this class. If you are also using the latest versions of Adobe Photoshop, you are welcome. So now let's create our new document. We are going to go for a size of 3.5 by 2. That is actually the standard size for any business card design. So let's use 3.5 by 2 and maintain a resolution of 500 due to the size. So you can also maintain that, or you keep yours to 300. Now the most important thing is we have to set up our new guideline first so that we'll be able to create the shape we saw on the business card, the shape that looks like a 3D structure. So first of all, we set our new guidelines. How do we do that? You go to view, then you go to new guide. So at the vertical side, we'll first set our new guide to 48%. 48%. Then you press on enter. Then we set another new guideline again to 70% on the vertical side again. 70%. Then that one you press enter. Let's set the middle or the horizontal guideline. That will help us to get the actual point to trace our figure. So that one you set it to 50%. So you select horizontal, then select this particular figure here, set it to 50%. 50%. Then you press on enter. Once we are done setting up our new guidelines, what we do next is simple. You press P on the keyboard, or you move straight to the tools and then select your pen tool. Then after selecting your pen tool, you come to the layer style panel, then you create a new layer because we are about to create a new a style or a new layer. So now what you do is we begin from the end, then you click to trace the points, come to the middle side, then you give it a click, then you come to the down part, then you create another point here, then you come and end successfully. Join this to have this particular path. Now you can right click inside and fill it with any color, or better still, go to the adjustment layer, then give it a solid color. So at the solid color, we will give it a color of black for the meantime, but we can change it later. But let's give it black for now. So if the outline is not purposely out of the main sheet, you can click and hold on shift to expand it small. You can just hold on shift and expand it small. Then when you are done, make sure you position it back to the middle so that we can trace any other shape. So at the first part of our design, this is what we have been able to create, getting access to the main shape that looks like 3D on our business card design. So the next thing, or the most important thing, is now we create the shape we saw on the flyer. So first of all, let's move to the rectangular toolbar, select the rectangular tool, and then just draw a very simple nice rectangle here. Then when you are done, you give it any color, but later when we bring in our logo, we will pick our logo colors to fill this particular shape. So for the meantime, let's give it any color, like maybe red or any color blue. So let's use red for now. So when you are done with this rectangle, what you do next is very simple. Just open it small and then hold on Control on your keyboard, go to the end of the transform point, pick any of them and then transform it gently. So let's hold this particular point here, hold on Control, click and drag it inside, just small like this, to tilt the end of it, then you hit on the mark. So when you are done, you move straight forward to draw the other shapes we saw on the flyer. So this one we can drag it downwards a bit and then extend the shape to the end of the guideline. So what is the next? We move straight to the rectangular toolbar again, pick the polygonal tool, and then at the side, let's set it to 3. We are changing it to 3 because we want to draw something that looks like a triangle, or something that is just a triangle, because triangle has 3 sizes. So what you do is you draw a very nice triangle for now. So let's drag in this one here, and then we will draw our triangle. But before that, let me send this particular thing inside a bit. It looks like it's too much. So now this way is okay for me. Now let's click and draw our triangle. We already have the sizes being 3. So what you do is you can start at any point and then draw a very nice triangle. Then afterwards you can easily position it. So let me use this particular side, and then I have something like this. So when I'm done, I will give it a color that is different from what we have on the screen. So let me come down and give it a color wine. Afterwards, just press V on your keyboard to move it and position it closer to the shape. So when you are done, just drag it down the rectangle we first created. So position it with the mouse. Afterwards, you can use the arrow keys and then make sure it matches with the end of the first rectangle. So what you do is make sure it's beneath it and then beneath the color black, so that it doesn't show on the screen. So this is the polygon. Bring it down to the black layer and then position it neatly. You can zoom in to see the end of whatever you are creating so that you don't get it wrong. Now this is what we have for now. We have been able to create our shape, the first shape for now. And then we are moving on to the second shape. How do we then create our second shape? So now let's go to our polygon tool. Click on it. Already we have our 3 sides already, so we are not going to type in anything there again. So what we do is we just move further and then create our shape. So I'll come straight to this particular side and create another triangle here. Something like this is okay for me. Let me bring it inside, give it a color wine. We'll pick this color. We'll rather give it this color. So you click on it, double click on the thumbnail, and then select the color here. Then position it. So you can bring it down the black layer. Then you can position it neatly. Something like what you see on the screen. Leave it, and then let's create another triangle again. But that one will be in a bigger form. So maybe we can start from this particular side and draw something like this. And then we'll give it a color red. The first rectangle we created, we pick the color from that particular rectangle. Then we position it, but make sure you drag it down the black layer. But this particular one, I think we will keep it on top so that it doesn't hide. So you bring it here and then you leave it. And then we are left with another side, but make sure this one you position it because it's not well positioned. So you can zoom in to see the ends of whatever you created. So before that, you can send this one inside a bit like this to hide the white portions, and then you bring this one out to match the endpoints. So now you have something like this. It's very simple. This is very simple, and it looks like 3D because this is how we create it. We use this simple logic to come out with what you saw on the screen. So now let's continue to the other side of this particular shape. So pick the polygon tool again, hit on enter, and then let's draw another triangle that will cover the other side of our shape for us. So something like this is okay for me. I'll give it a color that is a bit different from the red so that it doesn't merge together. So let's pick the wine. Later we will change all the colors to our logo colors. So now let's position that one to here. Zoom in to see the end of whatever you are doing so that you don't make mistake. So position it very gently. You can click and tilt it a bit or rotate it small to meet the end or the margins of the first rectangle. Now we have something like this and it's okay. So now take a look at the shape we have created. For now, we have something that looks like a 3D shape, or this particular shape here now looks like 3D. If you look at it very well, we have a different face, it's a different color, and it just resembles 3D. So this is the first aspect of our business card design. And if you want to see it well, you can get rid of the guidelines. How do you get rid of the guidelines? Hold Ctrl or Command H on your keyboard now. The guidelines is gone. So zoom in to see what you have now. So this is what we have been able to create for now, and it's very neat. So first of all, I would like to bring in my logo so that I'll pick my logo colors and style this particular layer we have created, or this style that we have been able to come out with. I've gotten some few resources here, so I already have my logo here, but let me drag in my logo first so that we can pick the colors from the logo. But if you prefer the wine color, maybe you can also maintain the wine color, or if you also have your personal logo, you can drag in your personal logo, then you maintain the colors from your logo. So this is my personal logo, so I'll position my logo here, then I'll pick the colors from the logo one by one. So first of all, let me pick this particular color, the sea blue, and then this particular side will pick a bit sea blue, but a bit lighter, so something like this is okay. Leave it like this. The black color will maintain it, and then this side too will maintain the second face. Click this one, and then this particular side I will maintain the main color here, and the last part I will maintain the second face again. You click on this particular side. So now I have been able to transform this one to my logo colors, and this is what I have. It's very simple. Now this is what I have. So we move to the second part of the design, that is importing our typographies or writing on our information. So first of all, I'll just bring in some small guideline here to ensure that I'm not going to type outskirt of this particular margin I've created here. So what I'll do next is I'll just click on the T here, or I'll press T on my keyboard. Then I'll change the color to black so that whatever I type, I'll have it in a black color, but later you can change the colors. So now let's type in our name or our profession and then transform it a bit. Duplicate it. How do you duplicate it? You can hold the Alt key, click and drag it down, or Control or Command J to duplicate the first layer. So resize it and then write in your profession. I will size it again, reduce the size. I will keep it here. I will keep it here. Yeah. Then I'll move to the second phase of the typography aspect. I'll click and drag this particular one here and then type in my telephone numbers. So you can also use your personal number. So I assume this is my phone number. I'll duplicate this particular phone number here, but first of all, I would like to increase the size a bit. Then I'll hold on Alt, click on my mouse and then drag it down to duplicate it. Just hold your mouse left button, click and drag it down to duplicate it. So now I have this particular two phone numbers here. What is left is my Gmail or my website, my Gmail and my website. So I'll click and then drag that one to inside. So I'll bring it here. Then I will type in my mail and then my website. So my website is Royals. Website is Royals Tech World at gmail.com. That is my mail, my Gmail, and then I'll type this particular one as my website. So that will be www.royalstechworld.com. So now I have my Gmail and my website ready. So what I'll do next is I'll type the location, and then if I have any social media handles, maybe I can include them. So I'll bring it down and then type my location. So I'm located at West Africa. So I'll just type in West Africa. West Africa. Sorry, take your time and then arrange your typography very neat. West Africa dash Kumasi, Ghana. Kumasi, Ghana. So this is my location, and then let me put in some GPS. It's for educational purpose, so this is not a legit GPS for my location, so I'm just using it for the purpose of this particular video. So ns dash 123 dash 12345. So I have this particular GPS address here. Then what is left is my social media handles. If I have any social media handles I like to include, it's basically simple. I can include that one too. So what I'll do is I'll go to my resources and then drag in my social media handles one by one. So I have Instagram account, I have YouTube account, I have Facebook account, and I have LinkedIn account. So what I'll do is I'll select all of them, drag them in Photoshop, and resize them. So let's select all of them together. Then we will drag them inside our Photoshop. So first of all, let's size the Facebook icon and drag it inside Photoshop. We size LinkedIn icon, drag it and position it here. Make sure the sizes are the same, so you can use guideline for this particular things. Hit OK and then resize the other one. Then you position it, and then the last one is the YouTube handle, so you can save, resize that one too on top of this one to maintain the size. So once I have my social media handles, I'll then bring in the name to all the social media handles. So I will click and then duplicate this particular one. That's Control or Command G, or just hold on the Alt key on your keyboard. Hold on the left mouse button, click and drag to duplicate. Then here I will type in Royal Tech. So this is the name to all these social media handles. You size it and then you can maintain it, or better still, maybe you can create some rectangle around it, take off the field and then give it a stroke. Something like this is okay. So once you are done, you can just take off the field, then you give it a stroke from the layer style panel. So you can give it a stroke of black. So let's maintain the black color. I think the black is okay. We have the stroke size being 2, so you can maintain the size. Then we are almost done. So I think what is left is our background. I have a certain background for the main page. So let's go select our background layer, go to our resources and then drag in this background. We have a white cloth background, so I'll drag in the white cloth background. So what I'll do is I'll position it and then drag it inside. I like this background. I've used it for a lot of projects. So what I'll do is I'll position it and then bring it down. I think it's found at the upper layer, so just click and drag it down to all the layers. Leave it on top of the main background layer, and then you have something like this. So this is what I was talking about. Now that I have my background, I am set and I'm ready to move forward. So I think at this point we are done with 99% of our work, and then we have to write the name of your company or the name of your brand here. So I'll just click and then duplicate my name here. Just duplicate and bring it here. Give it a color white and then type in the company name or your personal name. So I'll type in Royal Steakwood for here. So now this is my brand name. I'll position it and then resize it. So let me correct this particular thing here. So once I am done, I can now arrange the logo, bring it down a bit. So let's hold Control Command H to get rid of our guidelines so that we can see what we have. So now at this point, this is what we have, and it's perfectly done. So if you have been able to follow up to this point, you see that you have a shape that looks like 3D or 2D. So we have it in a perfect way. But I would like to give the color black a stroke of gold. I'll pick that color from the logo. So I'll go to the layer style panel and then stroke it with golden color. So I'll just click inside the color and then I'll give it a golden color here. Okay, I have something like this. Then I'll increase the size a bit. Okay, this way is okay for me. Now this is what I have. So far we have been able to come out with this business card, and it's professionally done. If you take your time, you can arrange it better than what we have done here. And better still, you can also change the background layer or the background color. So let me click on the background, give it a solid color. If you prefer the white, you can give us a comment and then we know. But I would like to give it a color of gold so that we see how it will look like. So you go to the adjustment layer, give it a solid color. I'll pick the solid color from my logo. So I'll pick it from this particular side. Let me increase it. And then I'll blend the background, the cloth inside. I'll just blend it. I'll set it to overlay. Or multiply. Let's set it to multiply. Okay, so when we set it to multiply, this is what we have. We have been able to blend the cloth background to the main solid color.